Hi, I'm Emily, a mom just trying to do her best in this wild world. Here's how it all began. I remember the day it started, the first time I noticed something off about Mrs. Harrow. It was a regular morning. Lily was playing with her dolls in the living room, her laughter filling the house. That's when Mrs. Harrow walked in, her eyes narrowing as she watched Lily. "Be careful with those dolls, Lily. They're not cheap, you know." Lily, bless her heart, just nodded, a bit taken aback. I tried to brush it off as one of those days from Mrs. Harrow. But it was only the beginning. As days turned into weeks, her comments grew sharper, her patience thinner. One evening, Lily accidentally spilled some juice on the rug. It was an honest mistake, but Mrs. Harrow's reaction was harsh. "What have you done, you clumsy child? Do you have any idea how hard it is to clean these stains?" Lily's eyes brimmed with tears as she stammered an apology. I intervened, trying to defuse the situation. "Mom, it's just a rug. We can clean it." Lily didn't mean to. But Mrs. Harrow just stormed off, muttering under her breath. That night, as I tucked Lily into bed, her small voice broke the silence. "Mommy, does Grandma hate me?" It broke my heart. "Of course not, sweetie. She's just having a tough time." But even I wasn't convinced. Something was wrong, deeply wrong. I wanted to talk to David, my husband, about his mother's behavior, but he was always so swamped with work. I didn't want to add to his stress. Then came the incident that pushed everything over the edge. Lily was playing hide and seek and accidentally bumped into Mrs. Harrow's room, knocking over a vase. The crash was like a trigger. "You reckless little brat. Look what you've done." Mrs. Harrow's voice was like ice, and the slap that followed echoed through the house. I rushed in, my heart pounding. "Stop it. How dare you lay a hand on her?" Mrs. Harrow stood there, her hand still raised, her eyes blazing with something I couldn't comprehend. Lily was sobbing, her cheek red from the impact. "You always coddle her, Emily. She needs to learn." I scooped Lily up, my own tears mixing with hers. "This isn't teaching. This is cruelty. You need help, Mom." I spent the night in Lily's room, holding her close. I knew then that things couldn't go on like this. Something had to change, and it was up to me to make that change, for Lily, for us. As I walked into the house that day, the scene I stumbled upon froze me in my tracks. Lily was on the floor, tears streaming down her face, and Mrs. Harrow stood over her hands still in the air. "What the hell is going on here?" Mrs. Harrow turned to me, her expression unyielding. "She needs to learn discipline. She found my savings and was playing with it." "Lily is just a child. You can't just hit her." I scooped Lily up, holding her close as she sobbed into my shoulder, her little body shaking. "I didn't mean it, Mommy. I just found it and—" "It's okay, baby. It's not your fault." But Mrs. Harrow wasn't done. "You're too soft on her, Emily. She'll grow up spoiled. Being disciplined doesn't mean getting hit. I won't let you near her if this is how you're going to behave." I could feel the anger boiling inside me. This wasn't just a simple outburst. This was something much more dangerous. Later that evening, David came home. I could hear the exhaustion in his footsteps as he entered the house. I knew I had to tell him what happened, but part of me dreaded his reaction. "David, we need to talk. It's about your mother." He looked at me, concern etching his face. "What happened?" I explained everything, watching as his expression shifted from confusion to shock, and then to a troubled frown. "I can't believe this, my mom hitting Lily." "David, I saw it with my own eyes. Lily is scared, and I am too. We need to do something." He ran a hand through his hair, the weight of the situation pressing down on him. I need to talk to her. This isn't like her." "David, talking might not be enough. We need to keep Lily safe." He nodded slowly, the internal struggle evident on his face. "I know. Let me handle this. I'll talk to her." That night, as I put Lily to bed, her small voice broke the silence once again. "Mommy, does Grandma not love me anymore?" "Sweetie, Grandma is just going through a tough time. But I'm here, and I'll always protect you," I whispered to Lily, holding her close. This was a turning point, a moment that demanded action. Mrs. Harrow had crossed a line, and I couldn't let it slide, not when it came to Lily's safety. The house felt different that night, as if the walls themselves were echoing the tension and fear. I lay awake, thinking about what needed to be done, for Lily, for our family. The next steps wouldn't be easy, but they were necessary, and I was ready to do whatever it took. At work the next day, I found myself opening up to a colleague, Jenna. The words spilled out before I could even think. She hit Lily. I can't believe it. Jenna's eyes widened in shock. Emily got serious. You need to protect Lily. I know I never thought she'd go this far. As I talked, it became clear what I needed to do. I started to document everything, every incident, every harsh word from Mrs. Harrow. It was painful to relive but necessary. That evening, I sat down with David, his face etched with worry. I've been thinking, maybe it's best if Lily stays away from your mom for a while. He sighed, rubbing his temples. I know you're right, it's just hard to accept. I understand, but Lily's safety comes first. David nodded, a look of determination settling on his face. I'll talk to Mom again, make it clear. The days that followed were a blur of tension and whispered phone calls. I heard Mrs. Harrow's voice in my head, her words twisting in my memory. Asterisk, she's just a child, Mom. You can't treat her like this. Asterisk, my friends became my lifeline, offering advice and a listening ear. But the real breakthrough came unexpectedly. I was at a small gathering when a neighbor, Mrs. Thompson, pulled me aside. Emily, I've seen how Mrs. Harrow is with Lily. It's not right. Her words were like a confirmation of my worst fears. You've seen it too? She nodded. I've seen her yank Lily's arm, scold her for no reason. It's been bothering me. The validation from Mrs. Thompson fueled my resolve. Lily needed a safe space, free from Mrs. Harrow's unpredictable moods. One afternoon, as Lily played quietly in her room, I overheard her talking to her dolls. We have to be quiet or the witch will get angry. It was a gut punch. Lily was internalizing the fear, turning it into a child's game. It was a wake-up call. Hey, sweetie, you know Grandma's not really a witch, right? She looked up at me, her eyes serious. But she's mean like a witch. I hugged her tight, fighting back tears. You won't have to see her for a while, okay? We'll keep you safe. As the days passed, David's conversations with his mother grew more heated. I can't just stand by him, Mom. What you did was wrong. I could hear the strain in his voice, the conflict tearing him apart. But he stood by us, by Lily. The decision to keep Lily away from Mrs. Harrow was hard but necessary. We needed to build a sanctuary, a place where fear and tension had no hold. A place where Lily could be just a child, free from the shadow of a harsh word or a raised hand. As I put Lily to bed that night, her small voice filled the room. Mommy, will the witch come back? No, sweetie. No more witches here. Just us, okay. She nodded, snuggling into her blankets. Just us. I watched her drift off to sleep, a peaceful expression on her face. It was a small victory, but a significant one. We were building our safe haven, one day at a time. The day we decided to seek professional help from Mrs. Harrow was filled with a mix of anxiety and hope. David and I sat in the waiting room of the psychiatric facility, the silence between us heavy with unspoken thoughts. Do you think we're doing the right thing? David looked at me, his eyes wary. It's the only thing we can do now for Mom, for Lily, for us. When a psychiatrist called us in, I felt a knot in my stomach. Mrs. Harrow sat there, looking smaller, more vulnerable than I'd ever seen her. Mrs. Harrow, we've been discussing your recent behaviors, and we believe you need specialized care and support. Mrs. Harrow just stared at her hands, silent. It was the first time I'd seen her at a loss for words. Is there anything you'd like to say? She finally looked up, her voice barely a whisper. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm scared. It was a side of Mrs. Harrow I had never seen before. Vulnerable, afraid. It was hard to reconcile this image with the woman who had caused so much pain. Over the next few weeks, we visited the facility regularly. The doctors diagnosed Mrs. Harrow with a mental health condition that had been affecting her behavior. It was a relief to have an explanation, but it didn't erase the past. One evening, as Lily and I sat on the porch, she looked up at me with curious eyes. Is Grandma going to be okay? I pulled her into a hug, the warmth of her small body a stark contrast to the cool evening air. She's getting the help she needs, sweetie, and we're here for her, okay? Lily nodded, snuggling closer. I just want us all to be happy, she said softly. Her words echoed my own wishes. A simple, happy life. That's all we ever wanted. David's visits to his mother became more about understanding and less about confrontation. He'd come back with updates, a mix of concern and hope in his voice. They say she's responding to treatment. It's going to take time, but there's hope. I could see the relief in his eyes, the burden of guilt and worry slowly lifting. Maybe now we could start to heal as a family. The days turned into weeks, and slowly the atmosphere in our home lightened. Lily's laughter returned, filling the spaces that had once been shadowed by fear. One day, as we were having dinner, David looked at us, a smile tugging at his lips. "You know, I think we're going to be okay. We've been through a lot, but we're still here, still together." "We're more than okay," I replied. "We're strong, and we're healing together." As the story of our family unfolded, it became a testament to resilience and the power of seeking help. Mrs. Harrow's journey through mental health treatment, our journey as a family toward understanding and forgiveness. It was a path filled with challenges, but also with love and hope. Life had thrown us into turbulent waters, but we learned to navigate them together. And as we moved forward, the dawn of a new day brought with it the promise of peace, healing, and a stronger bond than ever before. The story of Emily, Lily, and Mrs. Harrow has come to a close, revealing the complexities of family dynamics and mental health. Here's a question for you to ponder. If you were in Emily's position, how would you have handled the situation with Mrs. Harrow? Would you have made the same choices or taken a different path? Your experiences and opinions matter, and I'd love to hear them in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed this story and would like to hear more, please don't forget to like this video.